There's a fire that burns inside all of us. This fire fuels our passions and helps guide us in them. Dennis Buchman's football fire turned into an inferno at the Hazleton Area High School. Back in 2004, one of the coaches who helped fan the flames for Buchman was Richie Rabbits.
It's funny, my freshman year I got moved up and I was on the scout team early on. It was during double sessions, I believe. And I ran a slant and I came over the middle and I got hit pretty hard. And when I walked back over to the sideline there, Coach Rabbits was there and he kind of laughed and he said, "Well, welcome to varsity football." And he handed me a root beer barrel. And it was just one of those moments I'll never forget. And it was just like, all right, clearly he kind of gave me a pat and said, good job, way to get up, not show any weakness. And we just went about the day. But that small gesture there really made me feel like that I was appreciated for the things I was doing with the program at such a young age.
An all-state defensive back and wide receiver, Buchman helped the Cougars to a District 2 championship in 2005 and a runner-up finish in 2006.
The one thing that really stands out in my mind is not necessarily a highlight, but the atmosphere that was created. My junior year, we played Berwick, our last game, week 10, and it was Coach Curry's last game at Berwick, his first time that he was there. And I remember being out for pregame and, we're going through everything and, our stretches and our offensive individual and defensive individual. And we went in the locker room. And when we came back out, the amount of people that were there, it gave you chills because you understood that you were a part of something. First of all, that Hazleton-Berwick rivalry, we ended up winning that game 9-8. It was an incredible game. But also people knew that they were a part of something special. And someone like me, I'm a big tradition guy. I understand, the traditions, and I have a lot of respect for those who've come before me and come before our program, not only in Hazleton, but from the surrounding area. So that was something that was really, really neat to be a part of, to understand that those thousands and thousands of people were all part of something really special that night.
Now at the age of 31, Buchman is the youngest Hazleton Area High School football head coach in history. It's his turn to share his passion, a passion that burns so bright it shines like the lights at Harmongeist Memorial Field on a Friday night. Hazleton Area football coach Dennis Buchman has a respect for Hazleton Area's football history. During this interview, he mentions every Hazleton Area head coach and their accomplishments going all the way back to the school's first head coach, Richie Matz. Buchman himself learned from two of the masters. He played for the winningest coach in program history, Rocco Petrone, from 2004 to 2007, and he coached for 6 seasons with Mike Brennan.
As I've stated many times, first and foremost with Coach Brennan, 2 state championships speak for themselves, but even more than the wins and losses that Coach Brennan has had in his career, he's just an incredible man. He taught me how to run a program. He taught me a lot of life lessons that I don't believe I would have known or learned if I was not able to coach with him. He gave me a lot of freedom and flexibility in the program, being able to run the pass game on both sides of the football. He put a lot of trust in me, and I feel like that trust now is going to trickle down to the staff we're creating and our players. With Coach Petrone, same thing. Family atmosphere, love, passion, commitment, toughness. He made sure that we knew we needed to be accountable, but also at the same time, when things would not break our way, he was the first one to kind of shield us and say, hey, listen, anything is on me. Same thing with the wins. Both of those men, anytime we won football games as a player, when I coached, they were the first one to always point to everybody else and say it's because of these guys of why we won football games. And that's what I believe in.
Buchman has many football mantras that he shares with his players.
One thing that's big is establishing a culture. And in our culture, I want that to be a family culture. And I tell them all the time, culture beats scheme. And what I mean by that is, listen, we're going to be the best football team every Friday night schematically. I promise that, and I promise the players that. But at the same time, those variables that go into winning football games and being successful football teams, you need to have a good, strong, positive culture as well. And that's what we're trying to continue to build at Hazleton Area.
Buchman says he'll fit his scheme to the talents of his players so he can set them up to be as successful as possible on the field. Now, I think we have time for one more mantra.
We say family stands for forget about me, I love you. And that's exactly what we say every single day when I type out something that I send out to the players, or we have conversations or interaction. We make sure to understand that it truly is about love, respect, and honor. And we need to approach things as humble young men, never fearing anybody, but always respecting. And that's a really big piece of this. I truly feel you can't be successful in any sport, but especially the game of football, if you don't love each other, because it's the ultimate team sport. You could be the greatest football player in the world, but if you don't have 10 other players on the field that believe in you and believe in each other, it's probably not going to work out the best that it can be. And I feel like our program has and will continue to build on that love, respect, and honor that we share each day with each other.
Finally, Buchman also has a deep belief in his players, past and present.
There are so many, countless players, and truly every player that comes through our program is just an incredible success story. From the players that are those quote-unquote superstars who put in the work every day. We've had some in the past in our program. Ryan Sparky Wool comes to mind. I mean, an incredible player, but an incredible young man, doing amazing things. Jacob Hunsinger is another one. I mean, he came in his sophomore year, and he was told by a lot of people that he would be a program kid. I don't know necessarily what that means, but what I do know is Jacob Hunsinger turned into being an all-state receiver, and he's now a football player for Pittsburgh. Players that we have now, there's so much leadership from top down. The Kevin Moleskis of the world, the Kellen Warners, the Jason Beavers, those guys have really taken on a leadership role, which is going to allow us to be really successful. We have a lot of nice young players that were able to play last year as freshmen and sophomores. They got to be on the field, on a varsity football field, as a 14, 15-year-old kid. Not many could say that, but I think in that youth being able to play and be involved last year, that only could help us in the future.
For SSPTV Sports, I'm Ken Cara.